One of the most successful coaches of all time. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer as well. He won 3 Super Bowls with Washington. Joe Gibbs joining us this morning on the show. Coach, good morning.
Damon, hey, good morning. What a great time to be a sports fan. We're getting ready to go into our playoffs in NASCAR, and we're going to kick off the football season tomorrow night at the Hall of Fame. And I tell everybody, if you don't like football or racing, you're probably on life support someplace.
No doubt about it.
It's a great time to be a sports fan.
No doubt. Plus, we've got baseball and its pennant races starting to heat up. So you're right. This is a great time for all sports fans. And for you and your relationship with Bobby Beathard, being able to introduce him at the Hall of Fame coming up this week, and I'm guessing is going to be a really special moment for you. What is it going to mean to you to be part of his introduction and induction?
Well, Damon, for me personally, I probably would never have had a chance to be a head coach if it wasn't for Bobby Beathard stepping out and telling Mr. Cook, hey, look, I would like to hire Joe Gibbs, somebody that had never been a head coach. And Bobby helped take 3 different organizations to Super Bowls. And what's the most important thing for me personally, you know, when you're coaching, what's a coach need? Players. It's not coaching. It's players. And Bobby helped me get those guys, and that helped lead us to Super Bowls. Our whole coaching staff and everybody. It was a great time in our life. You pick a player, you see some of them have great careers and wind up some of them getting in the Hall of Fame, and now to see Bobby get in the Hall of Fame, it was just a great time in our life.
For your career, you famously, early on in your first season with Washington, you guys were not doing so well, and there was a worry that, boy, maybe Bobby hired the wrong guy. And then you were able to turn things around. You leaned on John Riggins. You went to the ground game. That helped you end that season and then launch you the next season into the Super Bowl and that next level. Did Bobby always stay consistent and supportive of you even when the outside forces were questioning that hire?
I got to tell you, Damon, both he and Mr. Cook, when you think about it, 0-5 in Washington is a big deal. I was just looking for a different way home at night. It's a big deal in Washington. But if you think about that, Bobby stood by me, and so did Mr. Cook, and somehow we came out of that. And then I really feel like the 0-5, those years, some of those games, we changed some personnel. We made some different decisions on offense, and I think it really propelled us to 2 Super Bowls in a row. Right after that, in 82 and 83. So sometimes when you go through the real tough times in life, particularly in sports, if you're really studying things and analyzing things that can help propel you, I think there's some real victories, and that's what happened to us.
3-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Football Hall of Fame head coach Joe Gibbs joining us this morning on the show. You know, for you, I think about your offense, especially bringing the Air Coryell tenant to Washington and so much shifting and so much movement and so much aerial attack in the early 80s, that a lot of that was very outside the box. And now so much of that is so normal. Do you have some sense of pride seeing all of those old elements that you had in your offense used so much now in football?
Well, Damon, you're right. Our idea was a lot of different formations. Don't let the defense study you from week to week, always changing things up. And I think there's some of that in the game today. Of course, today what's happened is everybody is spreading the field, and then it's fast-paced, okay? So football continues to change every year. I said that in the NFL, football changes at roughly 30% a year. And so it's fast-paced. All pro sports are that way. We have the same thing in NASCAR. We're constantly changing. We now have segment racing. We got a 10-week playoff coming up. Pro sports changing. And I think the key there, one of the exciting things if you're in it, can you keep up with what's happening? And can you be thinking about the things out there that maybe you could be doing that haven't been tried, and they're still out there. So I think it's a real thrill in sports. Certainly I've experienced it in football and racing.
Joe Gibbs is our guest this morning on the show. I've been to the Kansas Speedway. It's a phenomenal facility. They put on a great event. and you are giving people a chance to go shop with you guys into the NASCAR playoff races in Kansas, a trip to your shop as part of Craftsman and Craftsman Tools. You guys are looking for great stories, audience stories, listener stories, fan stories. This is pretty cool. How can our listeners get involved?
Well, I've got a story. Everybody's got a Craftsman story. I moved to Southern California when I was 16, and everybody in the 50s and 60s in Southern California, it was drag racing. On the weekends, it was hot rods. I had all kinds of hot rods and drag racing. I said that Pat and I, we were high school sweethearts, and we got towed out of every drive-in in Southern California because when I got through working on the cars, none of them ran. But anyway, we're going to let people tell their Craftsman story. Go to www.craftsmanstory.com. Tell your story. You got till September the 7th. And then, if you're a winner, you're going to get to come here. I'm going to take you on a personal tour, and we'll talk about everything here at our race shop in Charlotte. And then we're going to go to the race in Kansas, October 20th and 21st. We're going to have the Xfinity race on Saturday, the Cup race on Sunday. You get to hang out with the drivers, the team, be on the pit box. It's going to be great memories. So we want everybody to go and sign up and tell your story, the Craftsman story.
Craftsmanstory.com. Share your story for a chance to hang out with Joe Gibbs, Pro Football Hall of Famer, three-time Super Bowl champion, joining us this morning on the show. Coach, it is a pleasure to pick your brain and to get to talk to you. Thanks so much for doing it. Have a great time this weekend in Canton.
Thank you, Damon. We're looking forward to it.